Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Derek.
My name is Kyle.
And my name is Eric.
And today we're bringing you Bridging the Gap Between Volunteers and Volunteer Opportunities. So let's start by looking at a case study. Maybe you're an 18-year-old man who enjoys exploring the interests, but doesn't want something that impacts your resume too much, and doesn't want something that's really time committal. Or maybe you're a working adult who enjoys volunteering because you find it fulfilling, but you realize that it takes a lot of time to find volunteer opportunities that match your interests. Or maybe you're retired and you also enjoy volunteering, and you have the same problem of not having enough time or spending a lot of time finding volunteer opportunities that you're actually interested in. So one common problem between all of these people is a lack of accessibility of volunteer opportunities and a lack of a logistical platform for a connection between volunteers and organizations that need volunteers. So therefore, a solution to this would be a simple, modern, and quick way for volunteers to quickly work with organizations that they want to work with as well.
So we've conducted some research, and we've noticed that 42% of adults have actually volunteered once in their life. But I think that statistic is quite strange, because we sent out a survey. For 150 people across the GTA, and we've noticed a couple things about volunteering. We noticed three things: that volunteering can be fulfilling, it can be really enjoyable, and it also really helps with your resume. And additionally, we've also noticed that it's surprising because not people volunteer always on a consistent basis. It's usually on a monthly basis that people come out to volunteer, and we think that with our app we're able to increase these numbers and help a lot of organizations out. So we've actually decided to see whether or not people would use this type of app as a type of platform to volunteer on. But however, it's actually really surprising to us, because we noticed that 92% of respondents actually decided that they would want to use our app and they would be interested in using an app as a platform to volunteer on.
So our solution is Bridged, which is the match of the volunteering world by bridging volunteers and organizations that need volunteers in a simple and quick way. So we're gonna have a demonstration, and Eric's going to explain.
So you log into the app, and you're greeted with the account creation screen. So upon creating your account, you're met with a personalized survey that measures your interests, your location, and your skills. Using these three factors, we are able to accurately sort volunteers and match them with volunteer opportunities that would fit with their interests, that their special skills can apply to, and that are nearby. So here we have our main interface. Here it shows a list of opportunities that are not only nearby, but that you will likely be interested in. For example, here we have an example of an opportunity, and it displays the location, the time, and the roles that they are seeking, as well as the details, so that you're able to accurately and quickly form a judgment. Additionally, our app also comes with a search feature, so that you're able to instantly pinpoint a certain volunteer opportunity or kind of opportunity you're looking for. For example, in this case, the user searched up Richmond Hill, and it instantly showed them a list of volunteer opportunities in Richmond Hill. So one of the special aspects of our app that no other volunteer or similar applications have is that we offer a reward system that serves as an incentive for volunteers to use our app and provides a purpose of volunteering other than just completing your hours or perhaps a sense of enjoyment. And furthermore, our app also features the volunteer profile, which allows the volunteer coordinators to easily figure out if you are fit for the opportunity. And you can also easily track the amount of volunteer hours that you have completed, as well as the past events you've been to, using our app.
So look, when we compare our application to other types of current existing volunteer platforms, what we uniquely have is that we're able to reduce the types of logistical problems and the lack of individuality that these other volunteers big platforms have, right? For example, there's so many logistic issues where it's hard to contact these volunteer coordinators. It's hard to be able to directly talk with people that you're working with. With the bridge, we're able to directly connect people and be able to categorize them and make it really convenient for volunteering so that people are able to get the type of the best experiences out of our application.
So economically, how we are gonna sustain ourselves. So number one, we're gonna have consistent sponsors, as Eric mentioned, through the deals we're gonna have by using the app. As people use the app more, they get like deals for like 30% offs, which companies will pay to put their advertisements on our app. Then we're obviously also going to have advertisers, as in ads on our website. And we're also our idea is to connect large corporations with small businesses. And then by doing that, the organizations fulfill their social responsibility and also help small charities, for example, get money. And then we can also take a bit of that money as a service fee. And then short term, our plan is to, number one, develop a brand by defining the brand in a more cohesive fashion, by conducting more research and identifying whether or not organizations would also use this business as well. And secondly, we're going to create the app and create a minimum viable product, and finally market it through online fashions as well as in person. So projected costs, as startup, we require $10,000 for app development resources, and we also would like mentorship and advice and networking to allow us to create this app, but also once it's being created to connect it and have app traffic for this product. So thank you for listening.
So great presentation, love the slides. I was wondering who your target audience was, because I did see, in your example, there's 18 in person, and there are people who might want to complete their hours for 40 hours. So, love to know who your target is.
So I guess our target right now, when first creating it, is mainly just adults, because unfortunately, if you're under 18, there's a lot of problems with like legal problems in like, and also like traffic and like allowing underage students to like go between events. So mainly it's just 18 plus right now.
Yes, excellent presentation. What I particularly liked was the wireframes, the design work. I mean, the user interface, it could have fooled me as being like an actual viable product. So whoever your UX, UI designer is, you have a bright future ahead of you, young man. Very good. My question is with respect to outreach marketing efforts. So to build a platform like this, you need to hit a critical mass on both sides, on the supply and the demand side. Do you have any plan to sort of tackle that? I'll be a little bit more specific. You probably need a couple of big or a couple of people, a lot of users, a critical mass of users, and a couple of really key sort of client users on the client side, events and organizations. Do you have a plan to get there? How do you intend to get them on your platform?
So I guess like when we first launched the app, we're gonna make it free for everyone. So we're gonna directly contact organizations, ask them to use our app for free, which also gives them like free volunteers as well. And as more people use our app, our plan is to just expand from there and just allow more and more people to use it.
And another powerful aspect of our app that we actually didn't touch on is that it has a messaging feature between the users and the volunteer organizers. And that way the volunteer coordinators can easily relay information to the volunteers, which will allow for increased connectivity between two parties.
Excellent. So it's also a messaging platform.
Yeah, Derek, do you want to actually show her?
I really like that. I think that's a really good feature.
Yeah, so you can message the volunteer coordinators and ask them about questions,
Awesome.
And they can even create group chats to relay information to lots of volunteers at once.
Excellent. Thank you. That looks great.
As someone who builds apps for a living, I am also equally impressed. You guys did a great example here, and I think it's a genius idea. I think there's an obvious need for volunteers. My question is, and as was brought up before, it's very difficult to create a system with two sets of users because you've got to have both at the same time and grow those at the same time. And in this case, the biggest issue you probably have is the cost of marketing. Like the incentive program, the gamification, which I think is genius. But have you talked to anyone like Tim Hortons or anyone yet who has said, yes, I love this idea, and yes, I'm willing to give you cash on the barrelhead because it's such a good idea? And because obviously there's interest by volunteers to make it easier, but is there interest by the other side that are willing to give you the free stuff, give you some good money, give you a portion of in administration fees, et cetera?
Well, we've only talked to a few organizations so far, and they said that if it's free, they would love to put their organization on the website. But unfortunately, as said in our next steps, that would be one of our next steps, which is to conduct more research on this matter.
Makes sense. That's always the problem is getting the money. The app is genius, and now the question is, can you make a business out of it? Great presentation.